Practicing scales as a grown-up is sort of like eating broccoli as a kid. You can't even understand how this could be good for you. Turns out it actually is. But as guitar players, we learn scales in positions and through patterns. And it's these positions and patterns that can hide the context of how the scale actually functions, how it's generated, what the relationships are, and it turns out that is where the real value is. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn a 2-note per string descending major scale. Now, why would we practice the major scale in any other way besides just positions and patterns? And it turns out that in this drill, we're going to keep our brains engaged. We're going to really connect ourselves to the scale degrees, which ones are a whole step or a half step apart. And in doing so, we really connect ourselves to how the scales are built, what those relationships are, and again, that's where the gold is. You're watching this video because you're looking for some insight into how this thing works, right? If you're enjoying the content that I produce, we're making some progress here, you enjoy the style with which I teach, consider joining me in my online guitar academy called The Studio. The Studio is an online learning platform. It combines community features along with guided educational content. Together, we can explore how this thing works and really make some progress together. So if you're finally ready to understand how this thing works, I can help you get there. If you do decide to study with me, I look forward to working with you. So I want to share this drill with you, this 2-note per string descending major scale drill. I shared this with a student who was having a hard time sort of seeing past the patterns, past the dots and the diagrams, right? And really wanting to see and understand how the scales work. And not only that, but also had a desire to play a little bit more linearly, less sort of position and pattern based, and really branch out and start to play across the fretboard. Like if you think of players like John Nathan Cordy or Andy Timmons, a lot of players play this way. They seem to have free reign of the instrument, right, of the fretboard. They can move in any direction at any time. This drill starts to open that door and eventually leads to a much more free exploration of the fretboard. Let's zoom in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to be using the A major scale, starting on this A on the 7th fret of the D string. This is part of a larger pattern for the A major scale. That's how I learned the major scale, in this big sort of vertical pattern here in this position. Maybe that's how you learned it as well. The problem with that is it just gets us a little caught up in these dots, right? In the pattern that the scale sort of provides us in a position. We're going to take this last octave, that second octave of that pattern, and we're going to play it as 2 notes per string. This just means we play 2 notes on one string, move to the next one, play 2 notes, etc. That changes the fingering completely. Check this out. Here's how it looks. Same starting note. But now I have to finger it differently to do that 2-note per string pattern. Right? Now you may ask yourself, why would we do that? Why not just stay here? There's 2 reasons. One is, you can see right away, while it may look a little harder to play, which it sort of is arguably, it pushes you out of a position and it shears you along the fretboard in a different and unique way. You just play a little bit more linearly, even though these are the same notes. This just plays different and it allows you different opportunities like this. Right? You can play 2 notes per string, you can add notes and play different types of dyads. Very cool stuff, it's worth investigating. But what I want to do now is take this idea, this 2-note per string sort of shape and idea, and what we're going to do is descend. We're going to start at the top and we're going to name off all the scale degrees. Now you may ask yourself, why is this? Playing it backwards and counting backwards is just a little bit more taxing on your brain than counting forwards. Just a tiny bit, but it's enough to keep you engaged here, right? And to start putting your hands on autopilot and putting your brain sort of in charge and staying awake to the scale architecture. So here's how that plays out. Starting on the root, that's the 1. We're going to go 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're just going to keep saying those. Root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it nice and slow. Root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, one thing that shows up automatically is where the half steps are on the scale. They're between the root and the 7, and they're between the 4 and the 3. Root, 7, there's your first one. 6, 5, 4, 3, there's that next half step. 2, 1. Root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, that may seem easy enough. You'll notice when you do this, there's a little bit of cognitive load. You can feel it happening, right? You have to work just a little bit harder to stay awake. That's what we're after here. Now, we're going to go up a whole step to the second note in the scale. This is a B note. We're going to play the A major scale starting and ending on B. For those of you familiar with the modes, this is called the B Dorian mode. We don't have to know a lot about this, but the B Dorian mode has a flat 3 and a flat 7. So now we take our pattern here, root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We start on B. The first thing we're going to have to take care of is that flat 7. Root, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. Notice how I didn't necessarily have to learn a fingering. I just used what I knew about this formula and about the scale, and I just altered things on my way down. Root, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. Now I've got the Dorian mode in this weird little 2-note per string linear expression, right? It just makes me play differently, right? It starts to make me play in a more linear fashion, gets my fingers moving in different directions, and it provides me some unique opportunities. Let's do the same thing from the third note in the scale. That's C sharp. Even if you don't know the modes, this is C sharp Phrygian. Now check this out. Phrygian has a flat 2, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. That seems like it's going to be confusing, right? But if we watch our notes and we just alter the notes as we come across them, it actually becomes very, very easy to stay connected to the architecture of the scale. Root, C sharp, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, flat 2, 1. That's really cool. Right, it makes me play differently. I play the guitar differently when I put the notes in sequence like this. We're going to do one more, starting and ending on D. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. When you start and end a major scale on the 4th degree, A, B, C, D, you get the Lydian mode. So this is D Lydian. D Lydian, the only change we're going to make to our original formula is a sharp 4. Check it out. Root, 7, 6, 5, sharp 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the way this lays out on the neck is really cool. Lydian. Root, 7, 6, 5, sharp 4, 3, 2, 1. Very, very cool, right? Let's just review them. You can do the rest of the modes. There's Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. I'll tab all that stuff out. That'll be available on my Patreon page. But I'm just going to review each one of these again. A major. Root, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's our major scale. That's our ruler of all things. We're going to do all these other modes in relation to that pattern. B Dorian, root, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. C sharp Phrygian, root, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, flat 2, 1. And then finally Lydian, same as our major scale, just that sharp 4. Root, 7, 6, 5, sharp 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there it is. The whole idea here is to keep your brain engaged. Bring those scale degrees along with you so that you can start to internalize what all these relationships are. The more you keep this information fractured and separated, and what I mean by that is dots on the fretboard make some sounds, and then there's this other information about scale degrees and sequences, right? The more you keep those things separate, the harder it is to integrate this stuff into your playing. When you combine this information together and you put it directly on the fretboard, you stay awake, you stay found, and you start to make these connections. Tabs for this lesson are available on my Patreon page. Head on over there if you're interested. Also, if you'd like to study with me, consider joining the studio. There's a 7-day free trial. That link is also in the description. As always, and most importantly, stay curious.